You're listening to CBC Online at cbchs.org.
3, 2, 1, CBC Online. It's the Coach Pingle Show, and no, that is not Coach Pingle. That is defensive coordinator BUTCH DIMOVITZ, who's stepping in for Coach. And the reason why we're having you on, Coach, is, boy, the defense, lights out. You guys are 10-0, posted another shutout last week, and just felt like it was a time to talk to the guy that's kind of masterminding the defense yourself. Boy, talk about this group, first of all. What a special group of guys.
They're great kids. I mean, they work really hard. A lot of athleticism, a lot of speed, a lot of strength. I mean, just a great bunch to be around and a great bunch to coach.
Now, Coach Pingle in previous editions has talked about the defense really takes a lot of pride in keeping people out of the end zone, the whole aspect of shutouts, limiting the number of points. You know, that really has played out. They really have limited the points. So talk about your philosophy, first of all, back in August, and then how it stands today defensively.
Well, it kind of stems back all the way to the summer, back to June. The kids buy into our program. We put some high goals, holding people to 7 points or under, 100 yards rushing or less, 150 passing or less, third down conversion efficiency. You know, those kind of things we really strive for, and you know, they really love keeping people out of the end zone. I mean, it's just their strength. This is what they want to do. It's just their mentality.
So if you're a CBC fan, you're keeping up with the games. A couple names you're going to hear regularly on that defense: Zach Chinura, who's a captain. And of course Jonathan Owens has just been playing a little bit under the radar. Talk about those two guys specifically, then talk about the rest of the group.
Zach just really plays fast. I think that if I was an offensive coordinator, I'd have to scheme and make sure that he's blocked. Jonathan Owens also, but there's a lot of other unsung heroes on that defense, like Cy Stoltz, who puts us in our sets. Burt Birdsall, who gets us in the right coverages. It's really, and TJ Williams, defensive line. I mean, just it's a whole group effort. It's just not one or two guys.
But in terms of everybody reaching that common goal, I mean, you got to rely on your seniors, and talk about this group of seniors and what they bring to the defense and what they bring to the team. I mean, they really are setting the tone.
I think the biggest thing that these seniors bring is just the experience from last year. Playing 14 games last year and knowing what it takes to kind of keep people out of the end zone, or at least move in that direction. I mean, just having that experience alone kind of says a lot, and it kind of motivates the other guys to kind of learn and step up into those roles.
And a question I asked Coach Pingle early in this season, I'll ask you, in terms of your own coaching, how is these past 2 seasons, how have you grown as a coach? I mean, you guys have obviously had the success on the field, but personally as a coach, what are some things that you feel has your path been these past 2 years?
I think the last couple of years I've really learned to trust the players more, because they are the ones that kind of put us in the right sets. They actually do a lot of the on-field coaching. For me, it's making on-site adjustments during the game, and that's basically from what we've done over the summer. So I mean, I've really learned to trust the players, their input, and letting them make plays and understand the scheme.
I know one thing, you and Coach Pingle have been together since the start, and actually you were assistants together, and you guys have a real special relationship. Talk about Scott, the success. He always seems to keep it in balance, but he has been successful here. Talk about your friend and certainly him as a coach.
Oh, Scott's a great coach. I mean, when he first got the job back in 2007, in that November of 2007, I mean, we just sat down and we talked about where we wanted to go with this program. I mean, he's really made me feel like one of the most important people in the program along with him. We've really bonded really closely since we've been here, but more so when he got the head coaching job. He's leaned on me, I've leaned on him, and it's been a really good relationship. He's really tested me as a coach too, looking at things from an offensive point of view. It's just made me better, and I hope that I've made him better as a result also.
And in terms of just the 2 seasons you guys are putting together have just really been special and really unlike anything we've seen since really the 1960s. So, talk about this run. I mean, I think when you put it in perspective, 20 games in a row, 20 and 1 basically over 2 years, and the one game you lost was by 3 points in the state championship. So that is a pretty significant run. I mean, how do you keep it in perspective, and just talk about how special the run has been?
Honestly, I really don't think about the run very often, and I don't know that Scott really does either. I mean, we really focus on who we're playing this week. That's kind of our biggest focus. We also look at how we get better from week to week, how we can make the kids better, and how we can make the younger kids better in that whole process, so that we're actually really working out a program here and not just, a 20-game run or whatever it is.
Well, as we look at the opponent, certainly this week is an opponent that we really don't know much about, the Rittner Huskies, but as you know, they were a team that had a strong season last year. They fell just short of the playoff format. Probably should have been in the playoffs last year. And boy, those guys are hungry. So what do you expect out of Rittner this week? And what kind of respect are you giving them?
I'm expecting a lot of size, definitely a lot of speed coming out of the Suburban North. I know that they've got a quarterback that's a pretty decent thrower, but he can hurt you running the ball. They do some things, little misdirection type things, that's going to keep us on our toes a little bit. And, I'm really looking forward to the matchup that we're having with them. I mean, they're a good football team. They're well coached, and, they do a lot of the little things pretty well.
Certainly one thing that is maybe a bit of a problem in the CBC community is we just definitely look past teams that we just don't know much about. We just assume it's there. Talk to the fan base about, why is this game, what's going to be challenging about this game specifically, and how do you keep your kids to keep their head in the game and the fact that they're not looking past this particular opponent?
Well, we're really trying to preach this game. We're trying to be undefeated this week. That's kind of the whole focus, at least that, we talk about in here in the defensive room. And I know Coach Pringle kind of embraces that also. We worry about just this game this week. As far as an opponent, we don't really know. I mean, we saw them over the summer, actually, when we scrimmaged at Parkway West back in June. So, we're a little familiar with them, but, still a little unfamiliar at the same time. We're trying to muddle through, and I think that might help us the deeper we go into playoffs, at least I would hope. Seeing teams from the west side of the state and teams that we don't necessarily see very often.
So as you guys are preparing for this playoff game, give us some keys of the game from your standpoint. Let's start defensively. What do you have to do? You have to obviously limit the quarterback who will hurt you. Where else do you think the defense needs to step up?
I think we really need to make sure we focus on forcing everything back to the middle of the field. They have a lot of speed, a lot of team speed to get to the perimeter. Hopefully we can take care of that with our skill guys so that, the meat of our defense is our linebacking core and our defensive line. So hopefully we'll be able to funnel it back there. And then when it comes into the passing game, having some, lockdown secondary guys to be able to take care of their vertical game and their quick game. That's kind of the most important thing for us.
Again, we're talking with BUTCH DIMOVITZ. He's a defensive coordinator of our 10-0 CBC Cadets. Big game this week, playoff game against Rittner Huskies. And Coach, your guys seem pretty loose. You seem like you guys are in a good frame of mind. Where when you get these undefeated seasons, sometimes you can play very tight. How are you guys keeping the kids loose?
Again, we're just kind of trying to make them focus just on this week. And I think the kids know, some of our boys know these kids from the Suburban North, and they're really looking forward to the challenge this week. They really wanted to see them versus SLU High, and they're really looking forward to this.
Good stuff. Again, that's Coach BUTCH DIMOVITZ. Playoff football this Friday. You can watch it on the Cadet Network at prepcast.com. And Coach, we'll catch up with you next time. Good luck this week.
Sounds good. Let's get loud on third down.
CBC, Men for Tomorrow, Brothers for Life.